Welcome back, Taurus G. Your read is looking pretty interesting. Now, I'm hoping this lands for you at a very good time. Okay, we are using a brand new deck. For those of you that don't know, I'm a psychic medium. We do cover astrology here. We do have Mars in retrograde by the 30th of October. It is going to still be relevant until March 2023. So if you want to know how that transit is going to affect you, A, we're going to feel tired. B, it is hitting a particular location in our chart. Go through and have a look. And the brand new deck we're going to be using today was a gift to me from my daughter. Thank you very much to her. And it's so relevant, especially because of the orange coming through and some of the frequencies that we're going to go through. Now, for you in your energy, we did just move through the previous eclipse in Scorpio, and we're moving over towards the very next one, which is hitting your star sign. So both from a psychic position and from the spirit world, where I have got the feather totem that did come through for us collectively in the first half of November 2023. So what is it saying? It is talking about the fact that initially we might feel very unstable. We could get angry. We might feel nervous. The orange chakra, very scorpionic, paranoia, attachment to the old, don't let the old die, let's hold on to the tried and true. Uranus and Taurus doesn't like us doing that. It's like, yes, but is that even relevant? And so spiritually what I'm seeing happening is, especially through your card styles, this, I can't understate this enough. You will feel grateful after. You may not necessarily feel grateful this month, but your cards are backing you up and saying you do have this in the bag. And adversity is there to show us what we're made of. And I really feel you're going to have your true colors coming out this month if you just have faith in yourself and let go and go with the flow, Abraham Hicks. So what I'm saying coming through, we did pull a crystal card. Now, this did come through in reverse. And I do feel there's a major decision that you're wanting to make in your life. It is Emerald. I do feel it's coming from the heart chakra, which is more the manifestation of cash, abundance, self-worth, beliefs. You are a Venus sign. Release limiting beliefs regarding money. And it's not just money, it's self-worth, it's courage, it's your self-esteem to be able to provide for yourself, being able to free yourself so you can make decisions for yourself within your personal power, increase financial success, attract extreme wealth, increase abundance in all areas of life, cultivating authentic relationships. And I feel there's a real question mark at the moment. You could feel that you're going through a purgatory stage for some of you. And, it's this, unhinged feeling. It's like, if I make decisions, is it going to be safe? And, look at life as the full card in tarot, but there's two paths. And those two paths both have infinite possibilities of grandeur and disaster. And that really is life when you look at it. So I feel you might not feel as grounded moving into the month of November. We may initially in the interim, but as we reach that point where for you as a Taurian, as you reach that eclipse, it's very personal. So for you, it could feel like floor is lava. Your romance card. Acceptance is the key to inner peace. At times, we must accept things as they are. I do remember a beautiful spiritual guru told me that one day, and I was so insulted. I was like, I beg your pardon. It's not that. When we hear the term acceptance, let's reread it and see what comes up in you, because the trigger is also a belief system that we hold. Acceptance is the key to the inner peace. At times, we must accept things as they are. There is no point in trying to change what is beyond our control. So what can we do? We can do what this card is saying. The Five of Wands. There's conflict. Let me avoid it. The stove is hot. I'll never touch it again. Avoidance is futile, because conflict is point blank zero in our life. It's sometimes within those dark times and those hard times that we actually see the best of ourselves. Now, it depends on how you take this. If you move into it, trying to shift energies, trying to keep everything as they are, because there's resistance to change, Scorpio, to an old cycle going and a new one coming in, it will continue through. And it's almost like, I use the analogy of Abraham Hicks. It's like having this revelation. We're going down the rapids and it's like you're, rowing backwards and it's futile because inevitably we're going to end up at the bottom of the waterfall. So if there is something to that degree occurring in your life and inevitably it's going to come up and it's a bit of a problem, I feel with your overall energy, it's take the challenge, but don't fight, okay? Whatever the conflict is, go inside yourself, do some journaling. Notice where you may feel off, insecure, inadequate, and take it as a challenge. Turn it into alchemy. You do actually have the Magician card here, where it does link to your abundance, which is also self-esteem, energy, confidence, challenging that status quo. So acceptance doesn't mean that the situation's beautiful, not necessarily, but it may be, gee, I have to accept that something looks like this now. What within my power and my circle of concern can I directly take my power back and turn this ship around? I do feel there's going to be a bunch of things that can be particularly challenging. And I really do see from your reading this month, now we're going to do a mid-month, is that you are in mental bondage at the moment. And you could be telling yourself a bunch of things, oh my gosh, in love. You could particularly be up in your head at the moment. It does make sense because we did have the eclipse in Scorpio. Now, for some of you, it may be that you're in a relationship. You're going to have to be patient during this time because both you and this person is going through a change. You're needing a new chapter. There also could be, for those, be it single or couple, you're going to have multiple offers, but you're going to need to decide what is the best one for you, regardless, right? If you are in a relationship and it's feeling you're up in your head, you're trying to solve something, having purpose or dealing with adversity, when we look at it, this could be a marriage, it could be a relationship, there's good and bad, right? It's not to say if it's constantly toxic, it's healthy, not at all. But if that was so, we can find this month, as we reach the eclipse, you personally could have a revelation, what's for you and what's not. This also can happen where it happens directly to you. And I do feel some of you are feeling anxious. It's like, is something bad going to happen to me? Is there going to be a horrible thing? But it's you inside your own personal identity that's changing. And therefore, that of what is outside of us directly mirrors that response. It's like, right, if you had been mulling over something, going, okay, if I did this path, this is what it would look like. If I did this path, because you've done that, you sort of call it vault work, the mental bondage vault work. Universe, once you detach and you really, sometimes it can be that we give our power away. It's like, oh God, I don't know which one's the best path. I'll just suck it up and I'll keep going. Universe can also select for us if they feel we're on an incorrect path. So I do feel at the moment you could be up in your head. There could be paranoia, especially for those of you in relationships. There could be anxiousness. We do need to be very aware of our own body, and we need to be aware of how we're relating circumstances to other people. I do feel I'm going to pull an extra card. Let's pull an extra. I'll pull a clarifier because I'm really getting these knots in my stomach here, with it. I do feel the chemistry is there. I do feel some of you could have these blasts from the past coming back. I do feel the confidence also is really kicking you for 6. So 1 minute you could be very, overzealous and bold and communicative. The next minute you could be very silent. So just ride with it. Definitely take a look at the Mars retrograde video. It's going to guide you through and get you into a balance here. There could be a conflict going on with friends. There could be a conflict with external energies. Again, like I said, keep out of conflict. It's like pick your battles. That's what I'm hearing. Pick your battles, follow your path, try to not avoid your own life and just pick your own battles because there are some conflicts we can move into. And it's not to shy away from it, but there are other things you need to be super cautious with. Okay, I really feel, for those of you, if you're not working, there is a career coming that's going to be really great for you. I do feel it's going to give you purpose. I do feel it's going to give you this hope and dream. I do feel you need to have confidence in yourself, especially for those of you that aren't working, network out, look, I do feel there's large opportunities for you. I do also feel those of you who are working at the moment, there can be these changes happening that you're directly looking at, and there are new beginnings. Now, if you have delayed that, it's actually going to start pushing you harder and harder in the first 2 weeks of November. My guides are showing me it's almost like you're having this light bulb moment. You particularly may not be listening to it or trusting your intuition, but it's this comfort zone that we're moving out of. And if your instincts are saying, gee, I really need to source something, please listen to your instincts. Universe gives us 3 warnings. It's the first one, which is the indication, right? The second one, which is the first hit, the near miss. The third one is, well, you did not address it, we're then shoved. And even it gives me cringes thinking about it, because I have had that so many times happen to me. I do see that you do have the instincts, but don't feel that everything has to turn out the same as it did in the past. Yes, patterns can come back. We are quite circular in nature, especially in the spiritual energy as well as life point blank zero. But I do get this feeling you could be potentially telling yourself these lack mentality stories. You could particularly be very tired. You could be emotionally eating at this point. Pacifiers of your emotions are avoidances of the problems. And I know sometimes we simply just don't have the tools to be able to address them. But I do feel your guides are saying to you, we've got your back. You have the power. You're stronger than you think. Sometimes when we're readdressing an old circumstance and we're thinking, oh God, it's going to go the same, I'm really feeling it's not. You have some really fantastic cards surrounding something that Gaia wants to give to you. And it's so much more than you believed you could have. And this is very exciting energy. I particularly do feel, especially in your career, it's going to rise you to the top. And I feel this can be boss energy. I also feel in your area of wealth, I do particularly feel some of you are looking at, look, you could have caviar taste and think, how can I live, a caviar life on a on a pauper's budget? How do I do that? See, you're not communicating it. Try to not avoid it, because what you have is a gift. You are Taurus. Taurus are very blessed with luck in that way. You know it. Okay, this can be lucky deals. I had so many Taurian friends and they would come home and have the most beautiful things. And I'll go, wow, how much did you get that for? So cheap. Classy, designer clothing. You guys can spot a deal. You guys can, you're good with your money, okay? But you're good with attracting it. Have faith in yourself. You're more than you know. Regardless of whether you're male or female, you have this. Yes, these transits have caused instability, but I do feel where it does come to wealth, you are in the Magician. You do have power. You can change things. Be it it's tweaking your budget, but I really feel this is wealth creation. I do particularly feel something quite large could happen. Okay, my guides are also saying, especially because it's so relevant with this, it could be an inheritance, okay? But your guides are saying we want you to have it. This feels an older energy that transcended over for those of you that it's relevant. But it's like they've got your back. And they're also making reference to, this is a particular energy that transcended over where you have a similar demeanor and an attitude to life. This person could have been a very strong human in the ethers in the 3D, right? They're saying you have that demeanor in you as well, and they want you to have the confidence in your skills and your abilities, be it it's a business you're doing, be it it's a change and a goal you're having in mind. I do particularly feel you're going to have to be patient around home and family, and that's more so going to be 5 days moving into the eclipse and 5 days after. I do particularly feel there can be a bit of fogginess, fair-based frequency and changes. I do particularly feel be very careful, because you're going to have some suitor styles, be it you're coupled or you're single. I particularly do feel that there could be a very sporty individual. This can be an individual from another culture. They're quite alluring in nature. Be careful what you're selecting, especially because I do predict a lot of gossip going around. So try to not go into any conflict. Try to make sure that you Take your time and go, okay, what's for me? Because if you're finding that you're feeling out of alignment with something you're doing, it's actually showing you an old cycle's over. So end that, then start that, if you get what I'm saying. This can be with a job. This can be with a friendship group. Definitely seeing that there. And I do feel a great deal of healing. They're also making reference, try to not make a romantic situation a job. That can be if you feel you're trying to repair it, trying to heal it, trying to walk on eggshells. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. I'm so being there. I literally do feel you're going to have a lot of suitors this month. Oh, good grief. You've got to tell me how this lands. Look, I really do. If there's been jealousy and insecurity and a push-pull dynamic, they're asking you to get grounded. They're asking you to believe in yourself. They're saying to you, you have more options than you know, but you've got to get out of your head. Sometimes when we're tuning into things, we directly block our blessings. We underestimate ourselves. You are in the magician energy. You are going to look super attractive this month. Some of you are going to go on health kicks and want to get extremely sporty. But something's being highlighted around these things. These can be plans, hopes, aspirations. They're saying fine tuner, you know, you've got lady luck. But things are going to shift. Things are going to shift very quickly. And you could be going from one realm of life to another, and it's going to move very quick. So, you know, these decisions you need to make this month are pretty heavy. They're pretty big. Some of these things are going to make for you. Don't underestimate yourself. Deal with the conflict you need to. You know, don't deal with other people's dramas. But if there is conflict popping off, don't think it's going to bring everything to an end. It actually can strengthen you. It can strengthen a connection and strengthen the foundation. I will see you during the month. Don't forget to go and have a look at that transit. It's very important. It is going to affect your zodiac sign for quite a bit. Yes, we do have the cards back up on the page, and very separately we do cover the twin flame path. We have masculine, feminine, karmic, as well as we do the lives on Friday. And if you do want these pre-released, they are available in the members zone, and we also have coaching and private sessions. Come through and join us. I'll see you soon.